Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our May 2021 edition of What's Up in the Sky. Here to talk about What's Up in the Sky is Mr. CK Lim uh, and myself, Dr. Derek Lim. We're both with the Astronomical Society of Penang, and I hope you enjoy and find our show here informative and helpful. Please click the subscribe button down somewhere.
I don't know. Yeah, it's somewhere there, right?
Thank you for supporting Astronomical Society of Penang. And if you have any comments and suggestions, please put them in a comment down below. Help us help you enjoy astronomy as a hobby. So CK, let's get started on this. What's up in the sky? What's up in the sky in May 2021 from Penang?
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Derek Lim. I think this is the second month, right? We are covering the monthly star event. We just started last month, and I hope that our viewer already saw some interesting event for the April 2021. One of them, which is the mass occultation by the moon. So maybe a bit recap about that event. I think we did do a live streaming from my observatory, and we actually managed to see the beginning of the occultation. So when the mass started getting occult by the moon, but then unfortunately the weather was not very good. We got clouded out and we missed the reappearance of Mars. Okay, but anyway, it's still a good event. Okay, don't worry. If you miss that event, we actually have quite a number of events happening this month. Of course, we started the month early this month with a quarter moon. The third quarter moon is actually happening on the May 4th. So when we say the third quarter moon, it means that the moon is actually rising well past midnight. Okay, well past midnight. So that means you see the moon in the early morning, and it's the last quarter. And if you follow the moon, this last quarter moon, you started to see that the moon is start to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and eventually you'll get into a new moon. Okay, I will go and talk about that in a short while, because that new moon is very important, because that one is the one that is determining the Hari Raya date for our Muslim friend. Okay, so that I'm going to talk later. And on that day itself, on the quarter moon day itself, on the May 4th, we actually have a what we can say as a conjunction of the planet Mercury and the star cluster Pleiades. I'm not going to go much into this event because it's actually happening right after sunset. I can show you how it look like. Okay, let me share with you the Stellarium software. We have mentioned about this Stellarium before, and this Stellarium is actually you can download free on the desktop, and actually show you the night sky as it is. Okay, so right now is if you are looking at my screen right now, well, this one is simulated for the May the 4th. Okay, on the May the 4th, about 8 p.m. Okay, just right after the sunset. Okay, right after the sunset. I think the sunset is like something 7:20 maybe, or something like that. So it's like 40 minutes, and you can see that very low in the sky, it is actually planet Mercury with Pleiades. Right, this is the Pleiades. Yeah, you can see, right? There's the Pleiades star cluster, the seven sister. Okay, the same star cluster that the Japanese named as Subaru, and the name they named the car Subaru is based on this star cluster itself. Okay, is probably the one of the well-known star cluster in a lot of many different community. They have come up with a different name. Only we call in the Chinese it's the seven sister, right? So the Japanese they call it the Subaru. In astronomy we call it as Pleiades. Okay,
Oh, in Thai, it's actually like 7 little chicks.
7 liter what?
Chicks, little chicken. Yeah,
Chicken.
yeah, 7 little
Oh,
chickens.
let me see.
Yeah,
That look like.
yeah. Well, it's actually some story about the mother chicken and the
Yeah,
baby chickens and stuff like that. But I
yeah,
forgot the story. It's kind of
yeah.
a sad story, though. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
but I think that this like it's a very good opportunity. I mean, barring the visibility, we need to have a very clear horizon to the west, right? At
yeah.
after sunset, and then maybe
I-
have like a ship there or something, like or something superimposed if the sky is very clear.
yeah,
That'll be
that's
some
right.
very nice, and there's also the Hades right up there with Aldebaran,
Oh,
the
yes,
V of Taurus, right?
yes,
So
it's
this,
right
I
here.
mean, arguably, if someone had like a nice foreground right over there, something like a masjid or something,
Ah,
it should be a I mean,
hmm.
if we can, of course, if we can see, yeah.
Yeah,
So how high is the Pleiades above the
right.
horizon? How
Yeah,
high
that's
is
what
Mercury?
that's what I was looking at now. It's at 8 p.m. This is simulated for 8 p.m. on May the 4th, and Mercury is about 6 degrees above the horizon.
Oh wow,
Six
that's
degrees is pretty low,
less than the fifth
pretty low.
width, right? The fifth width is like 10 degrees, was it? Fifth width
Um,
at arm's length is what 10? Was it 5 or 10 degrees? I forget.
I believe it's 10, right? Yeah, something like
10.
that.
I
If you
remember
put
it
the
was.
three finger, it's about 5 degrees. Yeah,
Yeah, so
if you put a three
just
finger
about
out, yeah.
five,
So yeah, maybe
Yeah,
we
yeah,
put your palm out. Yeah, that would be about that.
yeah, yeah,
It's pretty low. So yeah, but we never know. Some of you may, if you have a very good Western. This is Western, right? I believe, yeah. So if you have a Western horizon, if it's clear and unobstructed, yeah,
yeah,
probably you can see this event. The Mercury will be like a very dim. It's not to
yeah,
say dim star, but because of the glare of the sun, you just appear as a star. Then you try to see on the lower right of it, you may try to see Pleiades. Yeah. Yeah. This is the event that's happening on May the 4th. We thought that it's worth mentioning because maybe you would like to try. Okay.
So
And
yeah, maybe those who want to try, may the force be with you on May the 4th.
yeah, good to say that.
Yeah,
May the 4th be with you. Correct. Yeah.
yeah, that's the fun thing of May the 4th, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
cool.
Okay.
So
So we move on to another event that's happening 2 days after this event. That's on the May the 6th. There's supposed to be a meteor shower, which we call as the Eta Aquarid. Okay. So for those who are not familiar with how this meteor shower is, they actually named based on the particular constellation that the meteor appear to come from. So in this case, it's actually the constellation of Aquarius. Okay, so they call the Eta Aquarid, and the best time to view is on the May the 6th, right? Let me show you. Yeah, let me show you. Okay, this is on the May the 4th one. Let me fast forward the time for you. Fast forward to May the 6th, and we actually have to move to. Sorry, let me go to the eastern sky because the the constellation of Aquarius will rise from the east. Okay, so if I do a simulation right now, I fast forward the time. Okay, let me see. Okay, can you see the star going up?
yeah, I see
So,
Scorpius rising.
yeah, so if you're looking at the eastern sky, as you look toward the night, you can see that constellation is rising up. Maybe I start to show you how the constellation look like. Yeah, these are the
There we
constellation
go.
that rising
Yeah.
up and pause for
Oh, that's
more. Oh,
Aquarius right
sorry.
there. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
No, no, no.
You're looking at the
That's wrong.
ground now.
Yeah, no, ground. Yeah.
Aquarius, Pisces. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you need to
I want
pause
to
it,
I
right?
want to pause it. That's why I
Yeah.
want to
And
pause it to
rewind.
show you something. Okay.
There you go.
So actually, we go to the. I reverse back again. You see
Oh.
Aquarius there? Yeah. So Aquarius is actually the constellation Aquarius actually rises up around 4, just slightly before 4 in the morning, right? If you can see the Aquarius is here, and in the constellation Aquarius itself, you can see Jupiter. Okay, so if you don't know where is Aquarius, look for Jupiter. It'll be a bright white star, you know. But let me see. There's about not too bad. It's about 25 degrees above the horizon, so it's not too bad. It's quite like I don't know. It's like 1/3 of the way up already. Okay. Okay. So the constellation Aquarius is actually rising up about 4, right? About 3 something 4. So the best time to look for the meteor is actually when the constellation is visible. Okay. So and they actually rise up quite early in the morning. So but I think you can probably observe it like midnight. Midnight is a good time to observe. One of the reason I would say suggest midnight is that if you wait a little bit longer, if I show you that if you wait a little bit longer, can you see that the moon is falling? So the moon is actually this is actually on the night of the in the morning of the 7th already. Okay, if you look at the start observing from the night of the 6th of May till the morning of 7th of May, the moon is actually rising up around what 4:30 like that. So the best time for you to observe is actually before, even before the constellation of Aquarius rising up. Okay.
Right. And I guess that I'm hoping that there's clear skies that night. And if anyone wants to pursue the galactic core, it rises probably around 11 p.m., right?
Yes, I think so.
On May the 6th, probably close to 11 p.m. maybe, or maybe even earlier. And then we might be able to catch some of the meteors, especially at like after 12 midnight, where the Earth's rotation brings brings us towards the direction of the meteors entering, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So
yes.
I think that it'll be a good opportunity to capture some meteors in a
Correct. Yeah.
astrophoto or something.
Yeah. This one is not a major meteor shower like Perseid or even Gemini. But then according to the prediction, we still can see like maybe about 50 meteors per hour. That is the predicted number, and the predicted number is actually based on the perfect weather, based on the constellation is actually well overhead of us and things like that. So, and because we cannot expect really a perfect weather, and we cannot expect the Aquarius to be overhead at all the time, so the number is not that many, but I would say maybe you can see about 10 meteor per hour or 20. That would be good enough, I think. Yeah. Although the predicted 50. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess it's I think fair enough to give it a luck. Give it a try your luck. Just go and take a photo, wide angle photo. Like make the aperture as wide as possible. Kick up the ISO to make your camera as sensitive as possible, so that very quick meteor passing by can get captured on the sensor.
Correct. Yeah, I think if you don't go for the meteor, I mean like what Dr. Derek said, you can try to get Milky Way. The Milky Way is high.
Maybe the meteor passed by it, and then
it's already up quite high at midnight, so it's a good time to take. For those who have not seen the Milky Way, then you can start to hunt the Milky Way while waiting for the meteors. Right? So okay.
Very interesting. Yeah.
So
actually, isn't Saturn, Jupiter, and the Moon are all in a line?
Right. Yeah.
This is something interesting to look at, maybe.
Correct. I think I didn't realize about this also. Yeah, they are more or less in single line.
I saw it. Yeah.
And Saturn is getting up quite high now. Followed by Jupiter. Then the Moon is joining them later. Okay. So this is the event that's happening in the first week of May itself, right? And as we move to the second week of May, things will get more interesting. Things will get more interesting. Okay, if you follow the moon, right? Okay, let me see. If I zoom into the moon, if I zoom into the moon, you can see that the moon is actually this is what we call as the waning crescent moon, right? waning crescent moon, correct? So the moon is
waning crescent, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting smaller and smaller. If you follow the moon, every morning, for the first week of May, you can see that the moon is actually getting smaller. If I actually forward day by day, can you see that it's actually getting smaller now? And you see, by the time
Move on the ground.
it's on the ground already. So it's like, oh
Yeah.
no. So yeah, because the moon is getting lower and lower in the sky, it's getting nearer and nearer to the sun. And on the May the 12th is actually the day of the new moon. Okay, the day of the new moon. But well, for those who are our Muslim friend out there, they are now in the month of Puasa, right? So the month of fasting, and I think they are observing the new moon not on the May the 12th, but actually on the May the 11th. It's a little bit surprised, but actually because I think they have already fasting for certain number of days. So I think the May 11th they are doing the moon observation, the new moon. But actually the new moon is actually happening on the next day at 3 in the morning. So May the 12th, 3 in the morning. So if you observe the moon on the May the 12th during sunset, if I move it to the western sky, okay, western sky. Now where do I go? Okay, sorry, I'm lost. Okay, so let me forward the way to, sorry, let me move back to the sunset hour. Okay, this is a slow method. I just reversing the time. Okay, this is the sunset, and this is May the 12th. Okay, so this is the May the 12th.
Very close. Huh?
Itself, yes, May the 12th. I set it May the 12th. This is 7 in the evening. So the sun will set about 7. Let me check. Yeah, you see, as you can see here, actually the horizon is blocked a little bit by the building in this simulation. But yeah, you can see that actually when the sun set, okay, the moon I believe is still about. Let me check my number. It's still about 6 degrees above the horizon when the sun set. Okay, so let me check if it's correct or not. Let me go back to the sun. Okay, let me center on the sun, and let me make sure that the sun go down the horizon. I'm looking at the number to see that it's going down below 0. Yeah, it's coming up to 0 here. So this is actually 0. Okay, this is actually 0. The sun is actually at the horizon at roughly 7:23. Okay, at 7:23. Oh, 7:25 now? Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's already 7:25, right? So it's set at 7:25. I think yeah. So at the time of the sunset, let me see. Okay, at the time of the sunset, you can see that the moon is roughly about 6 degrees above the horizon. And the moon at this time, because the new moon is at 3 in the morning, right? 3 in the morning. So the new moon is now about 16 hours old. Okay, so 16 hours and 25 minutes when the sun sets. So there's a good chance that we can try to spot the new moon, because theoretically it is possible to see the new moon at this age. Okay, at this age, it's possible to see the new moon. But the best bet would be if you use binoculars or a small telescope. Okay, so who knows? Yeah, you may be able to spot a 16 hours moon in the sky. If the sky is clear, yeah, there's a good chance to see it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It's not easy, I think.
It's not easy, yeah. From theoretically, when you look at it, you say, "Oh, yeah, it's possible," So, but the time when we actually see it, you have some, encounter weather problem, sometimes the sky not that transparent and things like that. So actually,
Yeah.
the youngest moon I have actually seen is about 19 years old, and that is not
19
difficult.
hours, right?
19 hours, sorry, 19 hours old. So that one is considered quite thin, but not that hard to see if the weather is good. So if it's a 16 hours moon, it's actually one of the youngest moon that's visible from Malaysia, I think. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. I can't remember what's the youngest I've observed. Yeah. Probably
Ah,
22 or 23 hours.
22,
I never
23,
really
yeah.
traced it actually. Yeah, 22, 23 maybe. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we'll try this. I think this is a good opportunity, good opportunity to see the moon. Of
Yes.
course, um, if you observe from the middle of the month until the end of the month, you can actually start to see planet like Venus become very dominant in the sky. Okay,
Hmm.
as you can see on the May the 12th, um, another double the height of the moon from the sun is actually Venus. It's actually quite high in the sky. It's about 12 degrees, I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it's about 12 degrees. The moon is about 6 degrees from the sun. When the sun set, Venus is actually about 12 degrees. And Venus is actually quite bright. Okay, the brightest planet in the sky is Venus, and it's not difficult to see. Okay, you can try to spot Venus
Yeah. And
when
then
you
after
do
you
the
spot
new moon.
Venus, can try
Sorry.
to make your way down to the moon maybe.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, yeah. It's
actually
like
a
a
good.
guidepost or something to try.
Yes, that's right. That's right. It makes things easier. It makes things easier. If you see the sunset, then you just go up about 12 degrees, try to spot Venus. Then when you do spot Venus, you just go down halfway, then you can try to see the moon. Yeah. So
Yes.
they are more or less in a line also. So it's a very good, opportunity for you to see this object at the same time, right? Okay, if you can see, if you manage to see Venus, actually there's another planet above Venus. You have to wait for the sun to set a little bit, so if we let me forward the time, you see as the moon setting, then the Venus about to set, and you can see that there's another point of light above Venus, and this is actually the planet Mercury. So for those who have not seen Mercury before, actually the May the 12th, when you try to observe the new moon, you can try to observe Venus, and if you succeeded in seeing Venus, continue to look up, and you may spot Mercury. Okay, so the Mercury is actually high up in the sky on the May the 12th itself, but it will even get higher on the May the 17th. Okay, on the May the 17th, it actually reaches what we call as the greatest eastern elongation, meaning it goes up highest in the eastern sky before it go down again. So if I show you now, it's on the May the 12th. So if I forward the time to May 13th, now you can see that the moon on the May 13th, the moon is actually between Mercury, Venus, right? So the moon is getting higher, and it's between Mercury and Venus. And
What's the star? What's the star on the left right there? Is that
right, let me check. I should not.
uh
Oh,
oh yeah,
Aldebaran. We forgot about that.
yeah, the Hades. So that
Yes.
I mean that would be an interesting view too. I mean
Yeah.
assuming that
Right.
it's not too low, huh?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like when it
Actually,
gets dark, right? Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Then you can get Aldebaran, right? The
Yeah.
cluster,
Aldebaran.
the Hades, right?
Hades.
The cluster. You
The
get the
yeah,
moon.
Hades.
Ah, then it looks
Mercury and
quite good.
Venus.
Yeah. I think we should set a time. Put our calendar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that looks pretty interesting.
May 13 looks good.
Hmm.
So yeah, so if you continue to follow Mercury, it actually goes up higher and higher in the sky. So if I move forward again, on the 14th, yeah, the moon is going away. on the 15th. Okay, you see that it's actually going higher. 16 and 17. Yes, this is the highest it can get in the sky. Okay, the highest it can get. And if you're looking on the May 17th at about 8 p.m., it is still about 14 degrees in height, you know. So it's actually quite high. And it's a good opportunity for you, you know, for those who have not seen Mercury before, to spot this planet on the May 17th. Okay, so yeah, I think
Yes, and it doesn't go it doesn't go higher than that, right? Because
the,
Mercury is an inferior planet, so the
correct.
orbit doesn't
So
stray away from the sun, and
if,
it just comes
yeah,
right down. Yeah, almost like
yeah,
if you imagine it in 3D, right? You know, it's coming up from the sun and then coming up from the sun, Mercury, Venus, right? Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So
It's actually very,
the
very
inner
interesting.
two planet are doing that. Yeah, the inner two planet, Venus and Mercury, they never stray further from the sun. I think for Mercury is something like maybe like 22 degrees the furthest, and I think for Venus is something like 47 degrees.
Mm, yeah.
So if you see a star, a very bright star, at midnight, you can be sure that they are not Mercury or Venus, because they won't be appearing in the midnight sky, you
Mm,
know, because they never stray further from the sun, more than certain degrees. Okay,
yes.
so yeah, actually the planet and Venus is putting up a good show. I'm going to fast forward to the back because I think on the May 29th, actually this Mercury and Venus is actually going for a close conjunction. Okay, so if you look at this planet every day from the May 17th, you can start to see that the planet Venus is actually getting higher and higher in the sky. Can you see that it's getting higher and higher in the sky? And Mercury is getting lower and lower in the sky. And both of them will actually close together. Yeah, this one, as I see, is on the May 28 and May 29. They are actually close to each other. Can you see that? Yeah, they are close to each other on May 28 and May 29. So you will see them side by side, you know. And Venus will be appearing very bright, and Mercury will be much, much dimmer. Okay. So yeah, it's a good time to spot these two planets end of this month. The next one, um, actually on the, of course, we have the first quarter moon on the May 20th, and the full moon is happening on May 26th. Okay, May 26th, and the May 26th full moon is actually an it's a two important event at the same two important event. I think two nice event happening at the same time. One is a full moon, of course, and it's a super moon. One of the uh, what do you say, the biggest moon of the year. We have the biggest moon in March, April, and May. Then after the moon is actually the new moon will be further and further away. But we have a what you call the, you may say as a super moon event. Okay, so the moon will be appearing quite big when it's rising, and the more important event actually is actually the total lunar eclipse that's happening on the same day, May 26th. Okay, May 26th, there will be a total lunar eclipse. Um, it's a good news and a bad news. Okay, good news and the bad news. Let me show you some. Let me show you the moon. Where's the moon now? It's running away, right? Let me get the moon back to you. Okay, let me get the moon back to you. I'm trying to see where the moon. Um, let me see on the May 26th, right? Um, it's supposed to be on the eastern sky. Okay, oops. Is that the moon there?
Yeah.
Yes, right. There's the moon there. Let me zoom in for you. May 26th. Forward one day. Oops. Can you
Hmm.
see something? Yeah. So actually, it's on the May 26th, as the moon is rising, it is actually in the total um, lunar eclipse phase, and it's actually coming out already. The total, let me check my information first, okay? Okay, the moon is actually rising up at 7:29 p.m. Okay, 7:29 p.m. the moon rises up, but the total lunar eclipse actually started at 7:11 p.m. Okay, that's like 18 minutes before the moon even rises. Yes, 17 minutes before the moon rises. So at 7:11 p.m., the moon is already gone into the total lunar eclipse phase. Okay, and the maximum eclipse is actually at 7:18. Okay, it's a short eclipse because the moon is actually going into the shadow of the earth, but it's actually going at the edge only. It doesn't go to the center. Okay, it's just skimming the edge of the shadow. So it's going in and coming out at a very fast rate. And the maximum eclipse is at 7:18, and the total eclipse actually end at 7:25. Okay, so the moon rises 7:29, so we are like about 4 minutes just after the end of the total eclipse. Okay, so we are not to say uh we missed the whole show. We are still in the night show, you see. So but then the total eclipse just ended. So you can start to see that one part of the moon is actually getting brightened up. Okay. If you are in the total lunar eclipse phase, you can see that actually the whole moon is actually red in color. Okay.
But
So when we see,
actually,
yeah.
if someone is like further east from Penang Island, like if
Oh
you're
yeah,
in Kelantan,
you
then
are
we
right.
rise in
You
the
are right.
total phase, and
Yes.
then East
This
Malaysia will be even
Right, right.
you know
You are right, Doctor Derek. Yeah.
yeah
This one is simulated for our Penang side. Okay.
yes
But if you want to observe this as you go further east, then you will see, you know, better view of this one. You know, for example, if you are in Sabah and Sarawak, I think you can see the whole event when they go in and come out. You see. So, but for the Penang side, because Penang is much further west, the moon rises slightly later, so we miss out the show a little bit. Yeah, but
but still better than Thailand because that shadow is kind of slanted too, it's like more bent towards the south hemisphere. Yeah,
yeah,
so in Thailand we're actually like literally outside the total phase, when the moon rise is really partial. So
ah,
yeah, so I think that that's good enough. Yeah.
yeah, good enough. I think
So in
yeah,
Thailand, yeah.
it's actually a good to me it's a good photo opportunity. You know, for those who are into imaging the moonrise and it, um, because if you are those in Penang especially, for me, I would suggest that you go to maybe Kappa Sing Drive or go to the Esplanade where you have a good view of the eastern horizon, you know. Or
Or the
maybe you
Penang
can,
Bridge, maybe.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, Penang Bridge,
Penang
yeah.
Bridge,
If you can find a good
Bridge
spot,
Two. Yeah.
yeah, Penang Bridge, then when the moon rises, you'll be in the eclipse, then you can just take the bridge at the
Yes.
foreground, then the moon at the background, then it'll be like fantastic. And yeah,
Yes.
if you have such photo, if you manage to take that photo, I think you can maybe send us a copy and we'll
Yeah. No,
we'll
participate in maybe
yeah.
this year's the Astronomical Society of Penang's astrophotography contest, right? Maybe.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Of
Yeah.
course.
It could be a chance to win. That will be a
Yep.
might be a might be a chance to win there.
Yes, yes. I think we can participate also, right? Both you and I think we can participate.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
can't take it anyways.
yeah.
I won't be able to see it. So
Okay, so don't forget. I think this is one of the best event for this month, which is the total lunar eclipse, Although I said total lunar eclipse is that, I think it's more correct to say partial lunar eclipse because we missed the eclipse by about 4 minutes. But it's still be good. You can still see that the moon is red in color,
Yes.
and the moon is rising up, so it's a very good, good photo opportunity. Okay, so if you
In fact,
have
it might
any,
be.
yeah,
Yeah, it might be more interesting look of it, right? Because you have like the blood red moon, but with a bright edge. It's like,
yes,
to me, it's like it's more interesting than like it's completely bronze color.
correct.
Yeah.
There are, there are some nice, nice thing to see that. I think they have taken that before and look like a devil's horn or whatever. Is that the
Mm,
there's
not.
the sun,
I
right?
don't.
That's the solar
Yeah, I
eclipse.
think that's more the solar eclipse in
Yeah,
partial phase. Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I think that's why it's good to go and take a photo, and then we can see what it
yes,
really,
yeah.
how it will really appear.
Right. So anyway, this one is actually the stellarium here is actually at 8 o'clock already. But if you
Mm.
start observing it earlier, you can actually see that it's actually go into the shadow more deeper
Mm.
in the shadow. You see?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the deeper in the shadow. Oops, sorry, yeah. So
That's good.
yeah, that's a good event. I mean, yeah, I think we'll definitely put in the calendar, make sure
Yeah.
that we observe this event. Uh, okay. So I think let's wrap up about the interesting event that's happening this month, But other than this interesting event, actually we have other thing to see, right, Dr.
Yeah.
Darryl? Yeah, I mean,
Yes. Yes.
there are other more interesting to see other than this event. We have constellation that's rising up. We have the Milky Way coming up, right?
Yes.
And anything
So,
interesting that you can share
well,
with us?
I think that there's so many things to see in the sky. So, but I think that we have limited time. So each month, maybe we introduce like one or two constellations to look at. And so I think for this month, well, a couple of constellations that I like to highlight and share is Ursa Major, which is the Big Bear,
Ah,
uh, yeah, and also the Southern Cross. So Ursa Major is actually a very interesting constellation because everyone thinks of Ursa Major. It's more popular to think of the Big Dipper, or in Chinese 北斗七星, or the plow, or
yeah.
yeah, many. So but actually it's this Big Dipper is actually considered an asterism, not a constellation. It's an asterism means it's a grouping of stars. Okay, so yeah, if can you share the
I
stellarium?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll do
and then
that. Yeah, sorry. Yes.
let's have a look at the Ursa Major
Yeah.
a little bit.
Hold on. I'll show back this
So
stellarium. Let me see.
yeah,
So yes, so the Big Dipper is on the north side, right?
yes, and then probably if we look at it at the
Oh,
early
yeah.
May, it'll be towards the northeast, kind of
Yes.
rising right after sunset.
Right. Let me
So
go back
yeah,
to
maybe about 8 p.m. or something like that.
yes. So this is about 8 p.m. Yes, I can see it here.
Yeah,
let me
right.
let me do
That's
some.
right above that building right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me
oh,
do some.
beautiful. Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah. So,
yes,
so yeah, Ursa Major, and the constellation actually is, surprisingly, is the largest constellation in the northern sky.
oh.
So yeah, it's like 12 1,280 square degrees. So it sounds a lot, but
Yeah.
but I think that main thing is people miss out the head part of the bear, and then the paws, right? The front paws and
Yeah.
everything.
Let me try to see if I can put the. Yeah, that's the.
Oh, there you go. That's the bear.
Yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah, wow. And that bear has an awfully long tail, and
Right.
there's actually a story that goes with it. Yeah, there's a Roman mythology actually about Ursa Major, that it used to be. there used to be this girl, very pretty girl named Callisto. And one day, the Roman god Jupiter, saw her, and he was, head over heels. And then Jupiter was actually married, so I don't know. Their Roman mythology is always very drama, very soap opera-ish. so so he sees Callisto, very pretty, and then has a son with Callisto, named Arcas, right? But of course, Jupiter is married to Juno, and Juno got mad, right? She turned Callisto into a bear. So a bear, Callisto was roaming the forest, and then one day when Arcas grew up, okay, he was hunting in the forest, and then Callisto saw Arcas and saw, oh, that's my son. I'm gonna go and give him a hug. But imagine she's now a bear, right? So she goes like a bear, running towards Arcas, and Arcas, freaks out, sees the bear, and is like, oh my God, I gotta kill this bear, right? But fortunately, Jupiter came just in time, and I don't know for what reason, turns Arcas into a bear too, a little bear, and then grabs them by the tail and throw them into the sky. And then
Oh,
so the Ursa Major and Ursa Minor with long
right.
tails, because when he threw them, grabbed them by the tail and threw them, the tail got elongated. So it is a very funny story, and I read it and it's okay.
That that's
But yeah,
interesting.
this
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, Roman mythology, right?
Oh, okay,
But
okay. That's how the bag
yeah,
got
so
into the sky, right?
yeah, some like if you go camping, and you wanna, any one of us want to tell the kids the story or something. This is kind of interesting, of course. Or you want to tell your wives like soap operas or something like
Yeah,
that. So there's a soap opera in the sky too. The
right.
sky has everything in there.
So
Yeah,
so when we always see, you always see the Big Dipper, we actually only see the rear end of the bear, right?
yeah, the bear's butt.
The big bear, the big picture, actually we miss out the big picture. In fact, I always when I look up in the sky, I always see the Big Dipper, you know,
Yes,
and
yes.
I don't see as a bear, but actually see as a something like a scoop, a spoon or something like that, upside down spoon.
Yes,
So
yes, and actually, it's very good you bring that up because most other cultures see the Big Dipper as it is those seven stars. Like even the
right,
Chinese, we call it the North Dipper, seven North Dipper stars, right?
yeah,
And in Thailand, they see it as the plow. Okay, and then also this dipper, as it kind of like you see right now, it's already almost like overhead, and the dipper is like kind of pouring whatever water it has in there, and the rainy season starts.
ah,
Yeah, so that's kind of like something the mythology and legends
right,
that are very interesting that I heard before. Yeah, but I
yes,
think let's take a look at some significance of the Big Dipper in the sky, right? Like, so
right,
the Big Dipper, the main seven stars. Okay, the first two, the one that are at the body of the bear.
yeah,
Okay, the one there's a Meroc, that's the one you're
yes,
pointing at, and then
yeah,
Dubby,
Tabi,
I cannot
yeah,
pronounce it,
correct,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, those two stars, they're the pointer stars, and you extend that line further towards the
uh,
northern point about five
yeah,
times, you reach Polaris, right?
yes,
Yeah. So I think it's in Penang is
that's,
blocked by.
yeah,
It's about 5 degrees high in Penang, and I've seen
yeah,
it from Kedah. But let me just tell you a quick story. I photographed the North Star from Johor, Mursing,
ooh,
2 degrees north.
that's like 2 degrees, right?
2.6
1 degrees, yeah,
2.6 degrees north. So
that's,
it is not impossible, yeah, to photograph it that far south. Yeah,
yeah,
and that's the interesting part. And then if we look kind of like at the handle of the dipper, the last two stars, that's like
mm-hmm,
Mizar and Alkate. If you
yeah,
extend those kind of like if you zoom out,
yeah,
and then you extend those like as an arc, you come to Arcturus,
yes,
right?
it's
And
right
then
there,
continue on, you reach
yeah,
Spica in Virgo. So
uh,
yeah, so it's kind of like an arc, a springtime arc in the sky, kind of like pointer. So if you want to look for other constellations, you find a Big Dipper in the sky, and you say, I like to learn where the constellation of Bootis is. Just extend, kind of like follow the handle of the Dipper as a curve, down across to Arcturus, and then continue down to Spica. And Spica is Virgo, in the constellation of Virgo. So you reach Virgo, and then you continue even further. You reach Corvus, that very interesting, square, not square, but like a trapezium shaped thing in the sky. Yeah, always my favorite constellation. Yeah. So if we look in the evening on the southern side of the sky, okay, we have the Southern Cross, which we call Crux, and it's a massively interesting constellation. For one, the ancient Greeks, the ancient Greeks were able to see it, okay, but then it slowly like kind of sink, and you have less and less visibility from the northern hemisphere, okay, and it's actually not a mystery once you think about how the Earth actually moves. There's something called precession. So that's how the Earth's North Pole, like kind of the Earth actually spins like a top, okay, and the pole star changes every 26,000 years. And then due to this precession, the constellation of Crux actually was visible in the ancient times, but it gradually sank lower and lower from the northern hemisphere until it was not visible. Okay, and then some even said that the disappearance of this constellation, okay, from the from the records of the Greeks, and then afterwards they said it's related to the crucifixion of Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
very interesting. I mean, when I read about this, I thought that wow, this is fascinating. Like total evidence of this, precession going on. So the ancient Greeks did observe this constellation, and then now, from Greece you cannot see it. Okay, and then they have to wait another, I think, how many thousands of years before precession brings it back up above the horizon from the northern hemisphere. So, but in Malaysia, we're all pretty lucky, right? We can see both the northern hemisphere constellations, southern hemisphere constellations. Okay, and I think that the Southern Cross here, Crux, is one of the most popular constellation because it's on so many countries' flags.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I think New Zealand, Australia, and Brazil probably at least these three countries.
Yeah. I think New
If
Zealand
I'm
and
not,
Australia is very prominent. Yeah. They have these four
yeah,
stars. Yeah.
yeah.
Then
I cannot remember the Brazilian flag, so
Brazilian, they have a mixture of this. I think Brazilian more prominent is the Scorpio constellation. I think Scorpio and Sagittarius.
really
I'm not.
okay.
Yeah, I think they must have this one, the crux included also because they have like a whole bunch of constellation, southern
Yeah, yeah,
constellation there.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, Crux is right in the middle.
yeah. Now
It's
things
right.
since you talk about that, the constellation in the flag. Actually, the Big Dipper is actually the flag for Alaska. You know that?
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, Alaska, the
Yeah, I didn't
50th
know
state
that.
of it is the
State
Big
flag, huh?
Dipper itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the flag of the
I thought
state
that
of
they would.
Alaska. Yeah.
I thought that they would use the aurora. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
No, no,
Wow.
it's the
Very
yeah.
cool. Nice. Now it's Steve. Probably Steve. That new aurora phenomena they discovered. Non-aurora. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably called the flag Steve now. So yeah, the Southern Cross actually is a very interesting constellation, mainly because it's right smack in the middle of the Milky Way. Yeah, I think then that will conclude the session.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we have
What's
covered
up
so
in the
many ones.
sky? There should be enough up in the sky for everyone to observe in the month of
Yeah.
May. Yeah, and then if there's more stuff to observe, anyone has more suggestion of objects, feel free to add them in the comments below. Interesting objects that you've seen, observed, or enjoy observing. Yeah. So I think yeah, that should be it. Yeah. So thank you very much for listening in on our session of What's Up in the Sky for May 2021. I hope you find it beneficial. If you haven't, please subscribe or follow, like our Facebook and Instagram page, Astronomical Society of Penang, and we hope to bring you more useful content, useful astronomical content in the future. Thank you very much. And from Thailand and Penang, we're checking out. Have a great May. See you.